Hello everyone, it's Della DuLac, and today I'm going to share with you some more Paper Pumpkin Alternative cards. This one I've done with the Hello Spring from February 2025. Beautiful cards. These are wonderful kits, and of course you can do them just as they are and follow the instructions, but I always like doing some different things with them. I really do look at my Paper Pumpkin boxes as a supply kit. So I can do them as is, or I can switch them up, which I do quite a lot. All right, here is the stamp set. Very cute. Okay, and this one, you always get an ink spot, and this one is the Petunia Pop, so you can collect these and get quite a collection of colors. Here are some of the pieces. You get, especially with this card right here, there were a lot of cards that they stacked up, and I felt that was a little too much, so splitting them apart really gives you more bang for your buck with this card. We'll look at those again in a second. And here are the envelopes. Very pretty liner. I prefer it when they have something on the outside rather than on the inside for the liners, because you just don't see those when you seal up your cards. Here are the card bases. And most often especially like this, most often I will cut these apart to make more cards, because when you fold it in half, of course you've got this on the front and the back of your card. I like to get a little bit more out of those. And these are just the patterns, but I did cut those apart as well. So let's put those aside, and here are the cards. Let's get rid of the box. Okay, and we'll move the envelopes out of the way. Okay, again, here are some of the card parts. Little pieces, some tags, some of these that we've layered up, some of them I've stamped actual greetings on. Here's some more of those. So with these here, they came with just the greenery, and then you took your stamp and the Petunia Pop and did your flower. So I went ahead and just did all of those at the same time, so they're all ready for popping out and putting on your cards. So let's move those over here. Okay, so here are some of the cards. We'll move this over. So these here, very similar layout, but I didn't want it to say Hello Spring. I just wanted it to say hello. So I took, and I quite often, sometimes I don't use the greetings that are in here. I like having more generic ones like birthdays and thinking of yous. So I'll pull out some sets like these. These are great because I've got a few different fonts and different greetings that I'll put on those, and I will just change them up. So quite often when I have my kits, I don't really like having some of the sayings. I want them to be a little bit more generic. So I will use those. So these here, I've done some similar things with those pieces here. So this one I did, and then so like I said before, I cut the base apart. I will look on down here. Will tell you the colors that they've used in the kit. So this one says Basic Beige, Bubble Bath, Lemon Lime Twist, Lost Lagoon, Old Olive, Petunia Pop, and Bronze. So this is what I've done with this one. This one is the Lost Lagoon, so I put that on that base after I cut these apart. And then I always do something on the inside. So I had to, so I stamped that little greenery and the little flowers on there. And this one, so this one I've done where I folded it this direction and then folded that front back on itself and then done that. Super easy, very quick way to do a fun fold. I'll do that one a lot, actually. And then just a little strip of the Petunia Pop to add some color, different tag, add in some, look in your rhinestones. Everybody always has leftover rhinestones. Those are great to just add onto your cards as well. And this one Where did he go? Had to come back for that reference. Some of these have the little, like the chives. It says chives. This one says the basil. Some of them I didn't want that on there, so I will take my tag and put over that so it'll say something else. So you just have the image rather than the little label at the bottom. So like this one here. This one says the chives. I left that one on, and then I just did my greeting down at the bottom and made it a thank you. Again, did some stamping for the inside of that one. And when I cut apart my card bases, the way that I will cut them is that I'll end up with this little score line still on my card here, the way that I cut them, and I don't want that on there. So just to cover that up and disguise that, I'll either put a strip of cardstock or wrap some twine around it so then you don't see that score line. Some of the papers show up more than others, but you can still see them for the most part. So I like to cover those up either with, like I said, with some twine or a little strip of cardstock. And then just adding, and then I cut this one in half and used a little bit more, and again your paper goes even further that way. And then I'll just add some of the strips left over as I've trimmed those pieces down. So there's really no waste. I will use just about every bit of it. Similar layouts. I'm going with all of these first, just kind of show you some of those that I've done, and then just wrapping some twine around different directions, either down at the bottom or along the side. Now we've gotten into some of the green ones. I love I love this one with the lemon lime twist for the card base. Very pretty, makes some of these pop. And it's kind of hard to tell, but I did do some Winka Stella on like the flowers and some of the herbs. Very cute. And I had that little score line down here at the bottom, so I glued these down to the base and then wrapped the twine around the whole card part at the bottom of this one. And then this one here, and again I've got some quick little fun Z-fold there. Added some little rhinestones, popped these up, so you can see that I've used, like this one here, similar, but on the card here they have so many of these layered up, and it's I can get more cards out of it if I split them up. So instead of using all 4 of those pieces on that card, I've just used 2, and it still looks really cute, and to me it doesn't look quite as cluttered. So I'm getting more out of it. So I've split them up and made 2 cards out of it because I've got the front and the back card base. So instead of 1 card, I have 2. You just have to pull out some of your extra card stock to make your bases, and you're still getting a lot of cards out of it. So like this one here, I cut half of that and got even more cards out of it. Added some of my, extra punches, little leaves, or the bow punch. Kind of split that up a little bit and got a strip up here. Lots of options, Great way to use up all of your parts and pieces to make even more cards. And I still have some left over here. Lots of great ideas, fun. And just instead of having all 3 of these, I've split them up again and just had so many more options. Very cute. And I've also used up some of my old tags from other kits. So what I don't use in those, I'll save those and use them on other cards. This particular tag and this one here and some of the other ones, like this one here. Used all of those, saved all of my little tags from my other kits. And there we go. So here's this one here. And this one has just the 2 tiny strips. So like I said, I'm using almost all of my parts and pieces that I've cut apart. Very fun, very quick cards. I hope that you enjoyed all of those and have gotten inspired. Pull out some of your paper pumpkin kits. We all have paper pumpkin pileup. I'm still working on mine, as you can clearly see. It happens to everyone. So just get those out, play with them, either finish them up as they are or try some of these fun little designs and see what you can come up with. Let me know which one was your favorite. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to click that bell button so you don't miss a video. Have a great day.